There's a report coming out by independent journalists that was given to the UN, says that the DPRK, North Korea, is selling weapons internationally and has been using China as a conduit through which to ship the weapons through to be sold. Now, the document is part of an ongoing investigation about North Korea allegedly selling weapons to the Syrian government. Now, it cites a case of missile shipments in October '07 that said to have originated from the DPRK and transshipped to Dalian, China, and then went off to Latakia in Syria. They are also investigating possibilities that the DPRK, possible weapons deals between Myanmar and Syria. Now, this same report also claims that the intercontinental ballistic missiles that were put on display in North Korea recently in the 100-year of Kim Il-sung parade were actually fake. Missile analysts expressed varying levels of doubt on the operational status of Musudan and the newest KN-8, neither of which has yet been flight tested. Analysts debate whether the KN-08s on display may have been mock-ups. Now, also in violation of the sanctions by the UN, it's claimed that North Korea has imported 10 Mercedes-Benz E-Class E350s. Now, luxury goods are forbidden by the UN sanctions that have been placed against them. Now, we don't know how much of this report is actually true because it's not been made available to the public yet, but it probably will in some time. So we really don't know how truthful it is. But we can see a blatant hypocrisy here. The United States has been found selling anti-tank weapons to the Syrian rebels. Other governments in the Middle East have been found selling them weapons, donating materials, and actually paying people to rebel against the Syrian government. But yet, if the Syrian government purchases weapons from the DPRK, then that's wrong. That's a very typical hypocrisy, especially given that a lot of these countries have declared that they are going to remain out of the situation and pursue diplomatic responses to the situation, not wanting any more violence, while at the same time turning around and then just selling them weapons. Selling weapons to the so-called rebels, which have now been exposed as NATO puppets. The same thing that had gone on in Libya. So it shows a definite, absolute hypocrisy. For one, I hope the DPRK is selling weapons to Syria. And I hope they're giving them a really good discount as well. And I hope that they're also giving weapons to the Myanmar as well. Because the anti-imperialist bloc, whether you do support Assad or not, an imperialist-owned government inside of Syria would be a terrible disaster for the entire country. Right now, Syria is a mostly secular state. Of course, the vast majority of the people there are Muslims, but it is a secular state. And the rebels have already declared themselves to be Islamic fundamentalists, and all the terrible things that go along with any kind of religious fundamentalism.